welcome to episode 9, week 8 of ChesCo Gridiron Insiders. Pete D and I will be showing you highlights of all the week 7 games. Pete D will have an exclusive interview covering the heated Westchester rivalry. Coach Wolf and Coach Milano will break down 2 more games of the week with all league title implications and predictions of our week 8 games from the entire crew. That's right, the band is getting back together as Coach Wolf joins us again. So sit back, kick your feet up, and enjoy all the action. But first, a word from our sponsor at Studio One in Downingtown.
Highlights of this week's games are brought to you by Studio One, the home of ChesCo Gridiron Insiders for our inaugural season. Studio One also houses Sports Vault. Sports Vault is your premium provider of sports-related autographed and non-autographed merchandise. Sports Vault is the leader in licensed sports memorabilia, novelties, trading cards, and custom framing. Sports Vault is located at 520 East Lancaster Avenue in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. We are always looking to add sponsorship and join our family here at ChesCo Gridiron Insiders. This week, we are adding a Player of the Week segment, and pretty soon we may add an Upset of the Week that you can sponsor. Just send an email to and we can set you up with the sponsorship package of your choice.
Okay, we're at the highlight portion of our show right now, and we're going to pick up with Malvern Prep opening Interact play as they travel to Germantown Academy. In first quarter action, we're going to see the Friars get on the board first as Melkonian throws a perfect fade ball to Cade Cooper, and the Friars are up early, 7-0. Beautiful throw.
Yeah, that's one thing they do very, very well. They can go up and high point the balls, as you'll see a little bit later on as well.
Malvern gets the ball back late in the first period, and watch the Zeke Bates run. The Golden Gophers got themselves a good one, Coach.
Yeah, he's something special.
On the next offensive play, Melkonian goes up top again with a fade ball to Cade Cooper, and watch him high point this with ease over his defender.
The defender didn't even see it. Clearly, I guess Malvern's taking advantage of what they saw in the sky report.
And a few plays later, the Friars take to the air again. This time Cooper finds the opening in the zone, sits down in it, and it's 13-0 Malvern.
Easy pitch and catch there.
They're not done, though, the Friars, as they decide to give the Patriots a wacky formation to defend on a 2-point conversion play.
Yep, 15-0. They saw that they had the numbers in the box.
And Melkonian makes it 15-0.
Yep.
The end of the first period. We go to second quarter action, and Malvern pulls out this cover 3 zone beater. This time, Melkonian finds Jake Schuster wide open. Friars are in business again.
A little bit underthrown, but, I mean, when you have a guy that wide open, you just don't want to make any mistakes.
All right. Next play, Melkonian takes this quarterback power 13 yards, and Malvern goes on to beat the Patriots 42-13. The Friars will host Haverford School for homecoming next Saturday afternoon. Next stop is Westchester Ruston traveling to Great Valley to take on the Patriots. Ruston has a third and long, and quarterback Max Blaine is going to throw a wheel route to wide open receiver Jimmy Bolin all the way to the Patriots' 39-yard line.
Yeah, here if you're Great Valley, right, one of the things coaches always say is know the sticks, right? Like you can't give up plays. Like this was 3rd and 20-something.
Right.
And, that's what Ruston's going to do. That's the only thing they really have left on a 3rd and 20.
9 plays later, Bolin will power his way in from the 6, and Ruston takes a 7-0 first period lead. On Great Valley's first possession, we see a 2nd and 7 from the 20-yard line, and impressive sophomore running back Bo Kosmowski has nowhere to go as Nate Lewis and Timmy Wynn bring him down for a 5-yard loss.
It's good defense.
Great Valley's punting, but Ruston's Kayleaf Cunningham sprints right through the middle and blocks this Patriot punt. Almost like they did last week against Downingtown East, Coach. 2nd week in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that's one guy I want to know where he is, right, on Ruston. I want to know where Cunningham is, and I don't know how he gets through that easily. 5
plays later, you're going to see Colin Baldessari spins his way into the end zone, and Ruston is up 14-0, still in the first period. All right, we move to the second period. It's 3rd and long, and Patriot quarterback Ty Callahan is strip sacked by Wynn, and number 8, Luke Mathias, recovers deep in Great Valley territory.
It looks like a stun of some sort, and they hit home, and they got another turnover too. Very, very good turnover the last couple weeks.
2 plays later, fullback Will Garner takes this belly lead, 15 yards, plowing and carrying Patriot defenders into the end zone. Ruston would go on to defeat the Patriots 28-0.
They have a big showdown with Westchester East next week at Westchester East.
We travel to Oxford for a huge South Division showdown as Avongrove visits the Hornets. And on the Hornets' first possession, it's 4th and 4, and Oxford quarterback Nolan Neske pulls his RPO and hits a wide-open receiver, number 8, who takes it to the Avongrove 41-yard line.
Like the call on 4th and 4.
Yeah, Mike Means gambling. The drive bogs down, however, and on the Red Devils' first play, Jose Sebastro is going to go 13 yards for this first down for the Red Devils.
Kind of reminds me of what Coach Wolf used to do with Downingtown East. The first play, they'd always run some type of down, right? Well, you can bet with the Red Devils you're going to get a buck sweep the first play of the game.
2 plays later, Avongrove quarterback Nate Mortar pulls the ball on this bash play for a first down.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see them put in new wrinkles,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And now people are really going to have to decide, what they're going to do, how to defend you.
Oxford's second possession of the game takes place in the second period, and Neske flips it to Cole Patterson, who makes this nifty one-handed grab and gets a great seal block from Brady Turk. And 86 yards later, Patterson outraces 6 Red Devils to the end zone, and Oxford is up 7-0 in the second period.
Yeah, what a play. Cole Patterson, one-handed grab in the backfield, and he's gone.
Okay, Avongrove has the football, and you're going to see senior tight end Dylan Laganella. Like last week, same thing for this 27-yard gain.
He's just running to the sidelines and outrunning defenders. Last week, he had 2 guys hanging all over him.
This week it was open, yeah. However, the drive stalls again, and the Hornets are at the Red Devil 41-yard line. Neske is going to find Patterson again, this time 35 yards down the field on this fade. Patterson's a really nice receiver, and Neske's coming into his own as a sophomore.
Yeah, these two are really finding a nice little bond connection, as the weeks go on.
Yeah. All right, 2 plays later, we're going to see on another read, Neske finds junior tight end Matt Asti on a tight end arrow route, and they take a 14-0 lead into the half. Oxford does.
Yeah, you just see the tight end run straight out, right, and he outraces, the corner from Avongrove.
We're going to pick up third quarter action here. Neske looking for Asti again, but number 11, Jacob Scheppelman, somehow comes down with this interception.
Yeah, that was a staple of Oxford's offense, all year so far, and it looked like they were always hitting Asti for a big touchdown. Avongrove was all over it this game.
This time, yeah. Just 4 plays later, Mortar boots out again and successfully finds junior speedster Joe DiTriccio on this flag route as the Red Devils pulled it within 7 at 14-7. Nice play.
Yep.
Fourth quarter action, and Mike Means chooses to go for it on 4th down here, but Scheppelman has Asti tightly covered, and the Hornets turn it over on downs.
Here it is, right here.
Right here, yeah. They go for it on 4th down. And Scheppelman makes another nice defensive play. Good coverage there.
Yep.
Avongrove has the ball at midfield, looking to tie the game, and Mortar connects with DiTriccio again, this time on a scissors route for a gain of 25.
Talk about connections, right? These two, Mortar and DiTriccio, are really starting to come in their own as well over the last 2 weeks.
Red Devils still on the move, but this time on a 4th and 4 flood pass is well contested, and Oxford holds on to win this big South Division battle 14-7.
Yeah, I mean, they were in position to tie the game up. Oxford just played some really good defense at the end.
Now we move to Bishop Shanahan as the Downingtown West Whippets come to visit. And on their first possession, the Whippets drive, and on 3rd and 6 from the Shanahan 9, Cole Bricker empties the backfield to ISO J.D. Weller for a perfectly executed back shoulder fade to open the scoring.
Nice throw. They did that all the time last year, remember?
Yeah. Shanahan wastes no time, though, in responding, and after getting great field position after a West personal foul, Shanahan quarterback Anthony Aguila motions to trips to ISO Aiden Civitella, and they execute a perfect slant route. Civitella scores from 20 yards out to tie the score 7-7.
Well-designed play. They knew they were going to get man, and then they got it.
After the Whippets punt, Shanahan drives again, and Aquila is going to find Dan Keenan on a slant, and Keenan makes a great catch through contact to set the Eagles up at the West 1-yard line. Aquila is really a heck of an athlete, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, as good as he is as a quarterback, and he's a great quarterback. He might be an even better safety. So,
on their second attempt from the 1-yard line here, Shanahan is going to get Aquila keeping the ball on a quarterback counter, and he bowls in, and Shanahan takes a 14-7 lead.
Yeah, the place was electric.
Yeah. Sensing
another maybe possible beating the defending District 1 champs.
West answers quickly with T.J. Sinkus in the Wildcat quarterback, where he usually keeps the ball. But he instead hands off to Marcus McCumsey on a counter play for a 22-yard gain.
Yeah, this is a nice little wrinkle that they added, or probably had. They just didn't use it. So it'll be interesting to see what they pull out of their sleeves at Coatesville next week.
A few plays later, Brooker's going to find Brendan Good Kimball down the middle for a 26-yard TD strike, and the Whippets tie the game 14-14. Nice throw.
Yeah.
Once again, Shanahan's going to answer right back. Aquila motions to Isis Civitelli again, but this time he nods to the inside and sprints wide, and they execute a perfect fade in the back corner for a TD, and they regain the lead at 21-14. That's quite the connection, Aquila to Civitella.
Yeah, we've seen it now for, 3 years?
3 years now, yeah. 3-year starters, both of them. All right, after the second half kickoff, West has 2 minutes to the halftime break. Oh, okay, we're still in the first half. They have 2 minutes to the halftime break. On first down, Amari Cannon is going to rip off a 48-yard run-off tackle.
This is a huge run because now you're thinking, touchdown.
Yeah. And 2 plays later, we're going to see Cannon, that same guy, power it in from the 3 yards out.
It's always interested me if you watch Downingtown West, even back in the days where Coach Milano played, they have 3 or 4 different goal line formations that they love to run.
The Whippets missed the extra point, though, and they trailed 21-20 at the half. We're picking up second half action here. West seems to be taking control in the second half. But the turnover bug hits Cole Bricker again as he intercepted deep in Shanahan territory, ending a Whippet drive. The Whippets force a punt, and on 3rd and 13, Bricker is perfect this time, finding Amari Cannon on an over route, setting West up on the Bishop Shanahan 1-yard line. Yeah, he looked good there, Bricker.
He had a good game.
Yeah.
You're a quarterback, you're going to make mistakes. But,
I still believe in him.
No, he's still the kid that we thought would be the player of the year, right, if they invited players of the year. So,
yeah, he's tough. 2 plays later, Cannon's going to score again. The Whippets go for 2 to make the lead 7 instead of 5, but the attempt fails, and they lead 26-21 after the Cannon touchdown. And I think they had to go for 2 there, but, they're still up 5. We're going to see it right here. Shanahan stops them.
Yeah, I think what happened here was Downingtown West, I apologize, just kind of wore down Shanahan.
Yeah, no quitting the Eagles, however, and they're driving again, and they threaten to score, but on 4th and 2 from the Whippet 6-yard line, Ryan Newhouse blitzes and sacks Aquila to effectively end the game, and the Whippets prevail 33-21.
Yeah, you never saw it coming.
Both teams are now 6-2 with 2 games remaining. Next, we travel to the borough of Westchester for the heated rivalry between Westchester Henderson and the Vikings of Westchester East. First Viking possession, and they move right down the field, and Chase Zalos takes this toss sweep and outraces everyone to the corner pylon. This is going to be the story of the game, however, as the extra point is missed, and it's 6-0 Vikings. First Warrior possession, and they move right down the field as senior running back Matt Wagner spins off and eludes Viking tacklers to tie the score at 6. The PAT was blocked. That's why we have a 6-6 score. Boy, more trouble on special teams, Coach. Teams.
Seen it all year, and this one really comes back to bite Henderson.
After a Viking field goal, Henderson running back Matt Wagner takes this counter tray 27 yards to the Viking 23-yard line.
What a night he had. I spoke to Coach Mitten after the game, and he said that, Wagner's a tough kid. He really,
He had a big night, 179 on the ground. The drive stalls, and Henderson has their field goal attempt blocked.
Yeah, 2 kicks blocked so far.
Yeah. Moving to the third period action, Wagner picks up where he left off in the first half as he finds a crease in the Viking defense from 22 yards out. Henderson takes its first lead of the night at the odd score of 12-9.
Yeah, great move. Good run.
2-point attempt, however, was stuffed, and Westchester East takes possession. On the next drive, quarterback Logan Cummings is going to find one of his favorite receivers, tight end Jack Anderson. He's going to find Anderson on this deep flood switch route, and on the next play, you're going to see Zalos takes this power 40 yards to the Henderson 2-yard line. Boy, Zalos is a nice all-around player.
I mean, they have a great, they get the run game with Zalos. Number one's been running the ball well lately, and then obviously, Cummings being able to throw to tight end Anderson. He also has Golden, and then he also has Kendra. I mean, they're firing on all cylinders right now, Westchester East offensively.
2 plays later, Cummings hits Chase Golden on this slant, and the Vikings reclaim the lead 15-12.
Yeah. Great route.
On the ensuing kickoff, Matt Lewis returns the kick to the Viking 47-yard line. Sets Henderson up in really good position.
Yeah, we didn't really see, Lewis do as much as he'd been doing earlier in the year. But it's good to see him, still dangerous in a lot of other aspects. I'm sure a lot of teams are focusing their attention on making sure he's covered.
Right. 2 plays later, you're going to see Henderson quarterback Jason Cherup is blindsided by Caleb Komorowski, and linebacker Alex Chappelle jumps on it at midfield.
Yeah, it's another lookout moment.
Yeah. Turnovers have plagued the Warriors the last few games.
Yeah, well.
Henderson's defense holds, but at the end of the third, the Warriors must punt.
And this is almost like a turnover.
Yeah, the snap is low, and things go from bad to worse on this negative 4-yard punt.
I guess he just didn't know that they were coming or weren't coming, and kind of panicked and kicked it over the Henderson bench.
Okay, we're in the beginning of the fourth period right now, and the Vikings going for it on 4th and 6. You're going to see Cummings rolls out, and 2 Henderson linebackers break the cardinal rule. Don't leave your receiver to chase the quarterback. Cummings makes them pay as he hits tight end Jack Anderson, who steps out at the Warrior 9. But on the next play, the Vikings run a perfectly executed slip screen from 9 yards and a TD to go up 21-12. But Henderson.
Yeah, you really don't expect to get a call like this, Pete, on first down, right? You don't see a lot of screens, and that's why it works. Westchester East does an unbelievable job of running screens. They've probably been the best in the district so far this year.
Okay, Henderson doesn't quit, however. Senior wide receiver Tommy Smith catches this quick hitch and goes 55 yards to the East 10-yard line.
Yeah, you see the corner miss the tackle, and then gets down inside the 10.
Okay, it's going to be 3 plays later we pick up the action. Quarterback Cherup steps up in the pocket and escapes out the backside.
Yeah, this is a nice
heads up play. Henderson pulls to within 3 with 8:40 remaining in the football game. But here is Chase Alos breaking loose on the next series, getting inside the Warrior 20-yard line. He had 169 on the ground for the night, Coach.
Yeah, both really good running back play from both sides. Zalos and Wagner put up some big numbers.
You see 4 plays later, Henderson loses backside containment, and Logan Cummings says to Jackson Cherub, anything you can do, I can do better, and it's 27-18 Westchester East.
Yeah, we've been seeing Cummings do this all year. It started at the Academy Park game. I mean, I think he did it at Oxford as well. He just has a sense of the pocket.
Okay, Henderson drives the length of the field, and Matt Wagner crosses the goal line for the 3rd time this night, and he rushed for 179 yards. Big game for Matt Wagner. It's a career game for him.
Yeah, we'll see if Henderson continues, the last 2 weeks of, running the ball and feeding Matt Wagner, and hopefully he can keep going over the century mark.
Henderson had went for 2, and Cherub wills himself into the end zone here. Yeah, nice move.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to throw it, just didn't trust that he had anybody open.
Yeah. We're here at Kennett and Unionville right now. The Kennett defense shut out the Longhorns in the first half. But here on 3rd and 1, inside linebacker Andrew Sharpetta blitzes and forces a bad snap, making a tackle for a loss. The Blue Demon offense made the first big play of the game, though, as quarterback Garrett McCracken hits Jolex Carabal on the wheel route for a 48-yard catch and run. Nice play there.
Yeah, he was wide open.
Kennett would later kick a field goal to go up 3-0 on Unionville. Unionville quarterback Tommy McGinnis is going to hook up with Hayden Wenterin for a 31-yard gain, but the Kennett D would hold the Longhorns scoreless.
McGinnis really does throw a really nice deep ball.
Yes, he does. Late in the second period, McCracken's going to hit Carabel in another wheel route for the 23-yard touchdown, and Kennett goes up 10-0. Kennett's going to get a huge turnover on this tip pass from McGinnis. Matthew Reidenberg is going to pick it off and runs it back to the Longhorn 21, and it looked like it's going to be a router, didn't it, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, Unionville couldn't really get anything going. Kennett's defense has really been opportunistic all year. They turn people over, and now they get a great return.
Yeah. McCracken's going to convert the turnover into points on the next snap, hitting Carabao on the seam to put Kennett up 17-0 at halftime.
Yeah, McCracken, here's a kid that I think, we've been guilty of not really recognizing. Maybe we don't get to see as much as Kennett as we want. But he's been really good. And
he's only a junior.
My heart goes out to fellow lefty, right?
Yeah.
Good lefty quarterback.
Second half action has the Longhorns showing life as McGinnis is going to hit his man Drew Paleo for a 46-yard score, and Unionville is on the board as they make it a 17-7 Kennett lead.
Yeah, you knew he would show up at some point in time, right?
Yeah.
Unionville, it typically is a strong second half team.
Kennett punches right back as McCracken finds Hunter Taylor over the middle for this 50-yard gain.
He is tall.
Longhorns would hold as defensive lineman Brett Petroni makes a big tackle for loss on a 3rd and 3 play, and Kennett will turn the ball over on downs. Nice play there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, big hit. Unionville takes over, marches down the field to make the score 17-14 as Brody McLaughlin, who didn't play in the first half, scores to make it 17-14 Kennett.
Yeah, it looks like Superman's trying to come to the rescue here.
Yeah. The Longhorns take their only lead of the game at the end of the third period as McGinnis goes 23 yards on a quarterback counter, and they're suddenly up 21-17. Huge play here as Unionville looks to ice the game. McGinnis is hit at the goal line by William Caputo and fumbles. Kennett recovers and has life. That would have been the clincher, Coach.
Yeah, that's again a very opportunistic Kennett defense.
3 plays later, McCracken is going to find Hunter Taylor down the sideline for a game-winning 80-yard touchdown, and Kennett wins 24-21 in a wild one.
And that sets them up next week Kennett takes on Avongrove.
We head to Kottmeyer for a big battle between Downingtown East and Coatesville, and Downingtown East throws the first haymaker in this heavyweight fight as quarterback Ethan Ellis finds Michael Slachter for a 26-yard gain.
Really nice pattern, blown coverage by Coatesville there.
Super sophomore Jules Chiron Robinson knifes through the Raider defense to the 2-yard line.
Yep, nice power there. Keeps running. Next year, he breaks that tackle and scores.
Yes. Ellis scored on a 4th down quarterback sneak, and Coatesville blocks the extra point, and it's 6-0 Cougars. Cougars get the ball back on a punt after Coatesville quarterback Matt Ortega Jr. is sacked by Abraham Cisse and is hurt on the play. The Raider defense fought hard all night, stopping East from scoring touchdowns 3 separate times when the Cougars were inside the 10-yard line.
It's a nice throw again by Ellis.
Yeah. Cougars are okay. They're knocking at the door again, but Coatesville defender number 7 stops Chiron Robinson on 3rd and goal from the 1.
Yeah, they were bringing the house there. It's tough to, and that is Josh Van Orden there, number 52.
Yeah. Paul Selden would make the first. Okay, here's Chiron Robinson getting stuffed at the 1-yard line.
Oof, right off the edge. Nice play.
Yeah, Cougar head coach Mike Matta elects to go for a field goal. Paul Selden would make the first of his 3 to give East a 9-0 lead. Here on this play, Abe Cisse shows great effort, pressuring one of the Raider backup quarterbacks, Jashir Bryan, and then circling back to force the fumble that is recovered by the Cougars.
Great play.
The Raider offense finally shows some signs of life at the end of the half as Sage Bradshaw gets loose for a 35-yard gain, but the Cougars would hold on and go into the half with the 9-0 lead. Nice run by Bradshaw. He was contained most of the night, him and Andre Watson. They both are game breakers.
Hats off to the Cougar defensive unit.
You're going to see here East safety Tommy Robeson personified the Cougars' attacking defense as he reads the slip screen and blows it up for no gain. Downingtown East gives Coatesville their first loss of the season, 15-0. Hello, ChesCo Gridiron Insiders. We're at the interview part of our show. We're here with one of the most prolific passers in District 1, Westchester Henderson Jr. quarterback Jackson Cherub. How are you, Jackson?
Good, how are you?
Good. I want to talk to you a little bit about that game last week with Westchester East. Building up to the game, like during the week at practice and around school, how intense is the rivalry with those guys?
You can definitely feel it in school. And those are homecoming games, so there's definitely a lot of buzz around the game. But yeah, those games are always fun to play.
Okay. Do you know a lot of those guys on Westchester East?
Yeah, I know Logan. I train with him, and then James Kernicki. I used to play baseball with him.
Yeah. During the game, Jackson, did it feel like there was a little more energy on both sides of the ball than maybe in a non-league game?
I don't think so. I think all of our games we play 100%.
Same intensity. Okay.
Yeah. I was.
What did it was a back and forth game. It was a great game. What was did Westchester East do anything that surprised you defensively?
I don't think so. They were they're just running their stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
okay,
so.
I know you guys ran the ball a little more this week. Matt Wagner had career night, 179 yards. Is that something that we're going to see a little more of the running game from Henderson in the next couple of weeks, or was that?
Yeah, we've definitely been trying to get the run game going more, just to be more two-dimensional. But yeah, he did a great job. The offensive line did a great job last week.
Yeah, let me talk to you about your receivers. You had some good receivers. I know Chase Kearney's out now with an injury, but you got the Lewises and this new guy coming on. I saw him. He had 8 catches against Shannon and Ryan Terse. Talk about your receiving core a little bit.
They've been great this year. They've helped me out, awesome. Kearney's been great. He's been a big miss. But Terz has stepped up well. He's been playing really good the past few games.
Yeah, it seems like you spread the ball around too, which is a good thing. Keep everybody happy. Is that something you do consciously, or just comes during the game?
I think that's just in the play calling from Coach Ellis. Yeah, he likes to spread around to all of his guys.
How is it working with a guy that won a state championship and played high level football, and Danny Ellis? How is it being like under his tutelage?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I definitely learn a lot from him. He's great.
What is Henderson? You guys were 4-0, and then you hit some turnovers hurt you in a couple games, couple kickoff returns against Shanahan. But what is the personality of this Henderson team, Jackson? I mean, what kind of vibe is around the team? Is it a close team?
Yeah, I would say we're definitely a close team. We all get along very well.
All right, Jackson, let me ask you a question since I can't hear these guys right now, a little technical difficulty. You guys look like you're going to make the playoffs. You got Great Valley this week and then another rivalry game with Westchester Ruston. What's the goal? Is it definitely to get into playoffs, but do you think you guys can make a little bit of a run?
Definitely, yeah. We still haven't played to our full potential yet. I still think we can make a big run in the playoffs.
Okay, so everybody's pushing towards that, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
Okay. How you doing, guys?
Good, how are you?
Good. Sorry about these technical difficulties. Let me ask you something. Was there a little more energy, a little more, a little more spunk going into the Henderson game because it was a big rivalry game?
Yeah, I mean, we're always hype around school during game week. I mean, we want to beat these guys a lot more than usually when we play somebody. But, it's always hype around school when we play Henderson.
Logan, do you know a lot of guys on the Henderson team?
I do. Me and Jackson go back. We played baseball in fourth grade with each other, played basketball. I know Ryan Terz, friends with him a little bit, played football with Matt Wagner. I know a few other guys. Well,
you guys eked out a win in a wild game. It was a great contest. Let me ask Tyler something. Tyler, you're up there with the big boys. I want to ask you something. Who was the toughest guy? It doesn't have to be this year. Toughest guy or toughest team you have gone up against on the line?
Definitely freshman and sophomore year scrimmage against Strathaven.
Okay. Yeah.
They were probably the toughest team.
Yeah, they were.
Gone up against them in the trenches.
Yeah, perennial 5A power, Strathaven. Logan, let me ask you something. You've been hot as a firecracker, man. 14 TDs in the last 5 games. Is it just that you've been more comfortable in the offense, or are you guys throwing the ball a little more? Because I didn't see it early in the year.
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm definitely getting more comfortable. We run some stuff that just gets me comfortable in the beginning of the game. I feel like we haven't done that, but I was still doing well with the offense. And we start passing the ball a little more and establishing the pass after the run, and things just started clicking. Well,
I asked Jackson this, and I'm going to ask you because he's got three or four talented receivers, and you got Jake Anderson and Kendro and Chase Golden. How do you keep everybody happy?
Usually everyone's happy. No one's complaining. No one's this. Like, they understand. All my guys are happy when they get the ball.
Okay. Tyler, let me ask you something. Run blocking or pass blocking? Most offensive linemen love to run block more than pass blocking. Where do you fall on that, buddy?
I love them both, but there's something about run blocking, just moving a guy against his will. It's just better.
Yeah. Well, you guys got a big one coming up with Ruston. Is that the same kind of rivalry as you have with Henderson, even though they're sort of a newer school, or
yeah, for sure.
It is?
Yeah.
Same kind of energy?
Battles of Westchester. You want to. Every Westchester school wants to beat the other two and win Westchester. So that's what we're looking to do right now.
Okay, and you could win the division. If you beat Ruston, you got a real shot to take home the division title. I asked Jackson this, and I'm going to ask both of you guys. You guys are going to be in the playoffs for sure, and you'll probably get a home game. What's the goal? You think you guys can challenge those Central League teams for a district championship?
Of course.
Okay.
Our goal from the beginning of the season, coach has been saying it's to be the best East team there has been. That's our goal for this season.
Okay. Yeah, I remember 2006. they went a long way when head coach Joe Carroll, but you guys remind me a lot of them. You got a lot of playmakers. You got a big line. And I think Henderson going to be a tough out for anybody in the playoffs too. Well, hey, guys, thank you very much. You put on a great game last week. It was a shame somebody had to lose. And it was great action, for the entire 32 minutes. So good luck to both of you this week. And thank you for coming on with us.
Tom Wolf for ChesCo Gridiron Insiders, looking at one of our games of the week. We're going to focus on Kennett this week, Kennett versus Avongrove Friday night. We're going to take a look at Kennett's defense. So Kennett will run multiple fronts. Here they're in you can see they're in a 4-man front. They do a good job dropping into coverage. And the way Avongrove has been throwing the ball around a little bit the last couple of weeks, their pass defense is going to play a big part in this game. They take away the pass against Unionville here pretty well. Again, just dropping into coverage will let this run a little bit. And keep an eye on middle linebacker number 52, Andrew Sharpetta, and outside linebacker number 1, Drew Clancy. They do a good job dropping into coverage. Unionville's quarterback, Tommy McGinnis, looks to drop, and he's looking for something, but then he decides to take off. And right here, Sharpetta and Clancy do a real good job rallying up to the ball. Clancy forces him inside, and Sharpetta cleans him up for a short gain. So that's a real fundamental job here by Kennett, and they're going to have to continue that against Avongrove. Next clip. Kennett's again in the 4-man front, and I want to focus on the secondary for Kennett and how they support the run on this play. Unionville's running an outside zone here, and the safety, number 11, Hunter Taylor, does a real good job defeating the stalk block and making a good open field tackle. So let's let this run here. There's your outside zone to the left. And if you focus in on Taylor, number 11, good job defeating the block, coming up, making the run support, and making a real nice open field tackle for a short gain. So again, that's going to be key, is a secondary play and getting off blocks and supporting the run. So next clip here. Great job on containing here by Kennett. You got a 1st and 20 situation, so it's long yardage. So Kennett goes to a 3-man front, and they're dropping 8 into coverage. Unionville's going to run an outside zone again to this double wing look, looking to get back into the maybe 5 or 10 yards to make it a second and manageable situation. They're trying to outflank Kennett. But the outside linebacker, number 5, Matthew Reidenberg, he does a good job maintaining outside leverage, and he allows his teammate, defensive end number 44, to make the tackle for a loss. So let's let this run through. There's your double wing, trying to set the edge. Reidenberg maintains leverage, forces it outside, and then good pursuit by number 44, who beats his block and cleans it up to make the tackle for a loss. So good job by the front defensive end and outside linebacker there for Kent. Next clip. 1st and 10. Got a run blitz here. As Sharpetta times up the cadence really well. Comes in off the left edge. And then you see Reidenberg also coming off the left edge. Sharpetta blitzing right through there. So let's just take a look and watch this run. It's just an inside zone. There's your time up with the blitz. Times up the snap count. Forces the inside zone to bust outside. And here comes Reidenberg. Right there. Okay? So good job making that play, stopping the run. Last clip. Now they're down 21-17. Kind of goes to a 5-man front because Unionville's up 21-17, fourth quarter. They're looking to run the ball. So now you got to get into your run defense. You got to stop the run, get the ball back for your offense. Avongrove has been running a lot of quarterback reads, quarterback counter reads, And on this play, McGinnis is doing the same thing. McGinnis is trying to run a quarterback draw, but defensive lineman Ryan Falco and number 8, Croy Keyes, you'll see them up at the top here. They do a real nice job defeating their blocks, making the tackle on the quarterback run. So look for that again this week as they take on Avongrove. Tom Wolf back for ChesCo Gridiron Insiders. Taking a look at another game of the week. Westchester East versus Westchester Ruston. We're going to break down Westchester East defense. So we're going to have our former co-host and friend, Steve Benton, the defensive coordinator for Westchester East. Let's take a look at what he's doing. He loves to run a 4-man front. Coached against him for several years. He loves to run this 4-man front down here. And they like to play a nice shell coverage behind it. 4 deep, 4 across, just each playing a quarter of the zone. On this play, Westchester Henderson's trying to run an inside zone with a motion man. You'll see here trying to block the backside edge. Number 50, defensive tackle, Kevin Rivas. You'll see him right here. He does a real good job beating his man. And number 57, inside linebacker, Dylan Budenhagen, comes up to make the tackle. Real good fundamentals taught by Coach Minton, and they're on display on this play. So we'll let this run. There's Rivas beating his block, forcing the running back to make a decision right into Budenhagen, who makes a nice, solid form tackle. Good job there. Here, Westchester East switches to a 5-man front, and which I think they're going to use a lot against Westchester Ruston's run game. So they walk this linebacker up top here, and you've got a five men right on the line of scrimmage. All right. Linebacker number 10, Kyle Keefe. He does a good job reading his keys and staying home to make the play on this quarterback scramble. So let's let this play out a little bit. Highlight Keefe. There's the scramble, and you see Keefe is lined up right here. Henderson's quarterback gets out of the pocket. Keefe rallies to the ball. Good tackle there. Good form tackle. So again, you're going to have to stay home. You're going to have to play your position and read your keys. Next, East is back in a 4-man front. Henderson motions in to run counter, and the left guard tries to kick out with the lead back through. So we'll let this run a little bit. And one thing that I got to nitpick a little bit, Westchester East is going to see this from Ruston. They're going to see motions, they're going to see counter, buck sweep, and they're going to have to really be stronger at the line of scrimmage. You see Henderson gets a little bit of push here. You'll see the kick out and the fullback or the motion lead up to the linebacker. And Westchester East is going to have to clean this up a little bit. You can see how they're catching blocks where they need to attack blocks. And they're going to have to attack blocks against Ruston if they want to stay in this game Friday night. So a little coaching point for you there, Coach Minton. Next play. Nice call by Coach Minton on the run blitz by number 30, inside linebacker Alex Chappell. Here it comes here. You see him. He's in motion. He's right in the middle. He times up the cadence really well. And again, Coach Minton's going to have to get his linebackers up involved in the line of scrimmage. He just shoots the gap right there on a little inside zone. Reads it well, makes the tackle for a loss or a short gain. So again, Coach Minton's going to have to get his linebackers playing well, attacking blocks, getting into the line of scrimmage. So his last clip, Ruston needs to block big number 74. Tyler Duell, offensive line, defensive line, Division I commit. We got a counter bootleg here. And Henderson right tackle should block down, but instead he takes the man on him. He should be blocking down here. This leaves Tyler all by himself. And Tyler does a real good job. He's untouched, and he does a good job pressuring the quarterback. Here's the counter boot. Here comes Duell. Again, unblocked. And he forces the Henderson quarterback out of the pocket, and he just got to throw the ball away. So Ruston better have a plan to block big number 74, Tyler Duell.
Hey, as we get ready for another one of these Westchester rivalry games with Westchester East versus Westchester Ruston, let's take some time here and take a look at the East offense. And we're going to start out here with a buck sweep play. You're going to see East comes out in the 2x2 set, fullback motions over. So there's the 2x2. They're going to send them back. And I want you to take a look at two key blocks. So the fullback ends up, and he's going to be the key block setting the edge over here. But I want you to take a look at this backside tackle, just so we can compare it to the nuance with the buck sweep RPO on the next play. So we know what buck's going to be. We're going to get down blocks, and both guards are out. There's 50 and 51 getting out. 33 is going to do a real solid job of setting the edge. Just notice the backside tackle now, this big guy back here, and you can see him tracking cross field, and he ends up trying to block the opposite side corner. And that's basic Delaware wing T concept with the backside tackle. It's a good-looking run play. Well blocked. Got a lot of guys out in front. So now we'll come back and we'll look at a buck RPO. It's the same formation, but set to the field this time. And now we're going to see the difference. This last play, that backside tackle tracked this thing all the way across field. He's not going to get that done right now. That's not going to happen. He's going to actually pass set. So we're going to get RPO. So the quarterback, we're going to get buck. We're going to get that. We're going to get a down block. We're going to get both guards out. We'll take a look. Quarterback's going to read the backside inside backer. That was him we had circled earlier. You can see he chases the guards. Quarterback pulls the ball. Does a nice job allowing this split end to clear the outside linebacker. Finds the window downfield, really more of a glance than a slant. And that's a good-looking football play. But again, my point is the nuance is if it were buck sweep, that backside tackle's tracking cross field. And if it's the RPO play, he has to pass set to protect against that unblocked defensive end on the backside. Major difference. Hey, let's move on. Here's another version of it. I believe this is not an RPO. I just think it's a buck scheme. And it's a predetermined backside slant against man cover. You can see Henderson chasing the motion, which gives this split end a great window, and it's an awesome throw and catch. So again, we're going to get buck scheme. We're going to get both guards out. You can see there's instantaneous pressure in the A-gap. The tackle's engaged now, but I don't think this is RPO. I believe this was predetermined against man coverage. And it's a red zone slant with that same scheme, that buck sweep block scheme. We get down the other red zone now, and we take a look, and we're going to get 2x2 as we've done. Fullback's going to come motion across. And now we're going to get a slip screen to the running back. 50 and 51, they've been doing a good job on buck, and they're out now. Both tackles engage and lock on and block. They're going to get both guards in the center out. We used to call it lane 1. Lane 2 and lane 3 back in the day when I was still working. But they do a good job getting out here. Quarterback drops the ball in the window. The linemen are all engaged downfield, and we get a touchdown, red zone touchdown. All these plays look similar formationally. A little bit of motion's the same. Anyway, Westchester East with a real solid offense. They're going to provide a challenge this week to Ruston. Big Chesmont divisional game this week coming up features Avongrove versus Kennett. Kennett at 7-1, Avongrove at 2-6. But again, big divisional implications. We're going to take a look at Avongrove here. Avongrove, typically a buck sweep team. They're doing some things now to add to the package. We got a buck read play where the quarterback can keep and an RPO. We'll take a look at those two plays here first. This first one, traditional formation for Avongrove and a bunch trip set where we get buck sweep and we get a reach block from the end, and we get down blocks from the perimeter guys, and we're going to get two guard pulls. We've been seeing buck sweep since the beginning of the year, and a running back across with a square cut. What's new and different now, they're enabling the quarterback to read the end man line of scrimmage away from the play, and depending on his reaction, the quarterback can give the ball to the running back crossing or keep it. And you'll see here the read key dives inside immediately. Quarterback pulls the ball, and with a great block from the split end, it's a big play. This block's okay, it's a positive play and a first down for Avengrove. So they've added the ability for the quarterback to read the ball on the backside of Buck. Here's another play. We're going to get a Buck sweep look, and they're going to enable the quarterback to read the backside of this thing. You can see the two pullers. And the trips look now, the fullback is in the slot as opposed. So we're going to get front side guard, backside guard, and the fullback looking to cut off penetration inside. And again, with a great stalk block by the wide receiver, they've got the slot receiver in bubble action. Quarterback's read now typically is going to be the overhang defender. And that defender you'll see here circled, right? That's the overhang defender backside. So we're going to get Buck sweep towards us to the left. Quarterback's going to read the overhang defender. 3 receivers into the boundary. One of them's involved in the Buck scheme. The other runs the bubble concept. And again, it's another positive play, 7 or 8 yard gain. They're good at Buck sweep. They've added a few wrinkles to take advantage of over-aggressive defenses. Staying in the RPO theme, they're conceptually a wing T type team. So now we're going to get an ISO look. We're going to get a fullback insert, a running back potentially getting the football. We're still going to get bubble action outside on this RPO with a potential receiver here. Typically with ISO RPOs, quarterback's now going to read the inside linebacker. If he gets downhill at all, they're going to throw the ball outside. If he releases for width, then they're going to give the ball to the running back to get in and replace him. So we have an ISO RPO from a slot, 2-back slot formation. Let's take a look and see what the inside backer does here. He's circled. He steps downhill. Quarterback pulls the ball, throws the bubble. Split end doing a much better job stalk blocking on the edge here. And again, we get another positive play. So we got Buck RPO, Buck read, and an ISO RPO. Let's take a look now at 2 plays coming off of toss action. You can see here they shift to an unbalanced set. There comes the tight end, the wing back over towards the split end. So they're now unbalanced, and we're going to get long, high motion. We're going to get, I call it roll motion. We're going to get roll toss with a lot of reach blocks. Actually, they do it a little differently than most. They're going to down scheme it and make it look like power and really not block this 5 technique. They outrun him to the perimeter. So this is a 2nd and 10 play, and we get unbalanced roll motion with a toss to set up their 3rd and long play, now 3rd and 10. We're going to get a balanced formation. Tight end's now over on this side, and we're going to get him leaking out after this fake toss coming this way, and they're going to get a wide open look for a first down. Long, high motion, little fake toss action. You can see that Oxford over rotates. The corner sees the motion, starts jogging inside. Tight end gets a free release. And that's a steal throw for a big play and a first down.
Thanks, Coach Wolf and Coach Milano, for outstanding breakdowns of Avongrove and Westchester East offenses and Westchester East and Kennett defenses. The reason we didn't bring you any Ruston breakdown is because Coach St. Clair said that he really didn't want Coach Wolf and Coach Milano breaking him down anymore. He was giving away too many of his secrets. So, the ChesCo Gridiron Insiders prediction segment is brought to you by Professional Mortgage Advisors. They're known for their experience, knowledge, and trust. They help guide you through all your mortgage needs and find a product that best suits you. Give them a call at 484-445-4599 and tell them the Insiders recommended you call. All right, so we are at the predictions portion of our show, and here we go. So week 8, we have a couple of games coming up which we all agreed on. So we have Sun Valley at Unionville, we're all going to take Unionville in that one. And Unionville looks to, get back on track there. Oxford at Reading. It's a long haul, but we all feel like Oxford will be able to win that game. And then Hereford School at Malvern. In years past, that's been a really, really tight game, almost a rivalry. It is Malvern's homecoming on Saturday at 1 o'clock, but we all feel like Malvern will be able to win that game. So moving forward, let's start in the north. We have Shanahan visiting Downingtown East at Kottmeyer on Friday night. Let's, Nate, what do you got there for us?
It seems like Shanahan always has a tough time with Downingtown East, just the matchup style. Downingtown East just always that physical team with a lot of depth. It seems to be the Eagles' kryptonite. Thing I like about Shanahan, obviously, Anthony Aquila just playing really good football. Civitella has been stepping up lately. 10 catches last week against Downingtown. He's had, 4 catches for 87 yards against Henderson a couple weeks ago. So they're finding that connection a lot more, and that is kind of Downingtown East, soft spot, the passing game. I just think 48 minutes of Downingtown East football is just too much for Shanahan. I think it'll be a good game for a while, but I think the Cougars prevail.
Tom?
I got
Judas.
on
On a Sunday.
On a
I had
Sunday.
it.
I agree with a lot of what Nate says. I think Downingtown East has had their number in the run game the last several years. Shanahan can put up points, and they got some real good athletes. But again, it's hard to throw touchdowns when you're laying on your back. And we saw Downingtown East defense. They played lights out against Coatesville last week. They were all over Coatesville, and I think it's going to be a similar situation where they're flying around making plays. And I like Downingtown East to grind them out and beat them by a couple touchdowns.
Pete?
Yeah, I like Downingtown East too. I think what Nate and Coach Wolf said are right on target. I was covering the Coatesville Downingtown East game, and the Cougars seem to have more energy in that game than they had all season, at least when I saw them. And I think they wear down a Shanahan, even though I love their quarterback, Anthony Aquila. And, I think the Cougars are going to double team Civitelli and make somebody else beat them. But I'll take the Cougars here.
Maybe they didn't like our picks. I'm going to take Downingtown East as well. I think it comes down to being able to stop the run, and obviously Downingtown East is much better at doing that than Shanahan. If Shanahan can protect Aquila, I think you could see fireworks. But at the end of the day, it's a team that's going to be able to control the ball and possess the ball, and that's going to be Downingtown East. There's no question about that. So, Coach Milano?
Pete's talking about energy. I promise you, when the Downingtowns are playing each other or Coatesville, there's always going to be a lot of energy. The Shanahan thing's evolved. There's going to be energy there too. Don't undersell the Aquila kid. The more I see them, the more impressed I am. Obviously it's going to be an issue for Shanahan with, stopping 2 tight ends. That's not their double tight, power run game, and counter is going to be tough. I think Shanahan's going to have limited possessions because of the Downingtown run game, and therefore not able to score like they have been. So the obvious choice to me is Downingtown East.
Downingtown West at Coatesville, staying in the north. So obviously the the elephant in the room will be whether or not Coatesville's quarterback will play. We're just going to say it's unclear whether he plays. But in saying that, I think if you're making a pick, you have to pick understanding the fact that he may not play in the game. And if Matt Ortega Jr. doesn't play in the game, I can't take Coatesville. I'd have to take Downingtown West. Downingtown West also, is very good defensively, right? Even better, than Downingtown East. That's just my opinion, right? I don't know what the rest of everybody else has to say, but I think they've proven so far to be better, I think. So I will take Downingtown West. Mike?
Yeah, Downingtown West. I picked Coatesville last week over the Cougars, mistakenly, and I think West
if I had to pick, and that game's coming up, so I won't pick now. But I have my my allegiances.
Yeah, you'll take the Cougars.
Yeah, is Matt Ortega Jr. able to play or not? That's a big issue, obviously. But I like Downingtown West. Downingtown West defense is solid. They've been good against the run and the pass. They can get pressure. They can play pass defense in the back end. Offensively, they're able to do both the run and pass game very, very well, as is Coatesville, and that's why the Coatesville quarterback situation is such an issue. But I picked Coatesville last week over one Downingtown team. I can't do it again. I'm going to take Downingtown West.
Nate?
Coatesville hasn't had a win over Downingtown West since 2021. 3 straight for the Whippets. I know Coatesville would love to end that streak. Just a shame for local fans if Ortega's hurt the way it looked. Just from a fan standpoint, these last 3 weeks were going to be tremendous. I thought with undefeated Coatesville and the Downingtowns of Shanahan, if he can't play, it changes the dynamic big time. Obviously, you have a week to prepare without him. They'll have a little bit better game plan than they did against Downingtown East when they kind of got caught off guard and they couldn't run the ball at all against the Cougars. They need to run the ball really, really well, obviously, against Downingtown West, and West is pretty good at run defense. I think West has, just more options to go to this week with the pass game and the run game without Ortega or, with an injured Ortega, however that kind of lands. So I'll go with the Whippets.
It's kind of like the Emmett was it the Emmett Hunt year that he got hurt? Or who was the quarterback for Coatesville?
Rookie.
No. It was.
You're going back 12 years now.
It was
you're
a while
going to say
ago,
we won
yeah.
that game because come on.
I wasn't there. I
Win
was
to win,
saying.
right, Coach?
No, I remember.
Players on the
ran
field. Players on
we
the
ran
field
the
can play.
table on the league.
I
that
just
year.
remember
We ran
that
the
they
table.
right,
Come on.
but I guess
That was Worley when Worley got hurt. West
no. The point I'm making is that I feel like because if he can't play, that we're getting deprived of what we want. Like every game in the North this year, over the last week or two, we were all saying, man, how we pick these games. Like every game's going to be a really good game. And now, it's not what we all wanted to see. I guess that's the point.
I wanted to see you pick games the Ryan Wetzel year. I wanted to see you guys picking games that year. I wanted to see you do that when Will Howard got hurt.
I like Downingtown West in this game. I like them even if Matt Ortega was playing. I don't think he's going to play, just my opinion. Downingtown West only gives up 105 yards a game in the rush game and the run game. I think they have more weapons on offense. And if Ortega Jr. doesn't play, I think Downingtown West wins this game. I picked them to win the division before the season. I'm sticking with the Whippets.
One thing that kind of gets lost with talking about Ortega's injury was how well Coatesville's defense played last week.
Yeah.
Downingtown East probably should have scored at least 2 or 3 more touchdowns, and Coatesville's defense really bowed up and stopped them inside the 5. I think three separate possessions.
Yeah.
Missed a field goal, hit a couple field goals. So I think that defense they're going to have to hang their hat on that defense and really shut down Downingtown West's offense. And we talked a little bit beforehand. Bricker, while he's still a great player, he's struggled this year. And if you pressure him and get a couple turnovers, then who knows what can happen. That being said, I think it's going to be a really low-scoring game. I think it's kind of going to be like the East Coatesville game, 15-0. And if Coatesville get a couple touchdowns and make it close, I give West the slightest edge by probably field goal.
That's a good point. With the defense, I didn't bring that up.
Great.
I should. They absolutely played great. The only thing you worry about is how much time are they going to spend it on the field, right? You can only, if it's 3 and out, and you're constantly on the field, especially, it's not like the old Coatesville, 5-6 years ago. Like a lot of these kids are both going both ways now, too.
Yeah.
So
You just look at Robinson's number, 94 yards on 33 carries. I mean, that's tremendous by Coatesville. That doesn't happen.
Coach Matt always says the ball's not heavy.
Yep.
Ball's not heavy.
All right, let's move to the Central Division, right? We have Great Valley at Henderson. Henderson, wow, played really, really well last week. That was a great game to break down. Some blocked extra points and a field goal, and then a special teams gaff on the punt. Really cost them. If those things don't happen, I know you can't do ifs and buts, but Like, I mean, they had a great chance of winning that game. So now they bring in Great Valley, who things just have not been going Great Valley's way as of the last couple weeks. So in saying that, I mean, Henderson now has a new running game. 179 yards last week, Nate.
Matt Wagner, yeah.
It was obviously Westchester East came out and got in that nickel waiting for the passing game. And Henderson kind of gashed him early, but the thing was they continued to gash him even when adjustments were made, which was good to see if you're a Henderson fan. Wagner had a career day. Came in with 256, had 179 just in that one game alone. So I think it'll be a little tougher sledding against Great Valley's defense. I think they play they're stingy. Obviously they haven't won a lot of games, but they make things hard for teams. I think the Pats give a good fight, but Henderson's got to find ways to win games instead of finding ways to lose games like they did last week and against Upper Moreland a couple weeks ago. They're kind of getting into some bad habits like they were last year. I think they get back to that early start where they were 4-0 and they beat Great Valley and move towards that big matchup against Ruston next week.
Yeah, I'll take Henderson as well. Tom?
What Nate was saying, both these teams have good individual skill kids. They Great Valley's got a sophomore running backs good. They got a couple good receivers, and they just like Henderson. They keep on tripping over themselves every week. It seems like, and it seems like this matchup, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win. I think it'll be Henderson.
Pete?
I like Henderson in this game. I mean, I was hoping they'd run the football a lot more early in the season. And Matt Wagner, like as Nate said, 179 on the ground. Cherub has having a big year. He's thrown some interceptions, but he's got a lot of passing yards. Great Valley's only scored 6 points in the last 2 games. And even though their defense is stingy and Gary Phillips will have those kids playing hard, I like Henderson here.
Mike?
Where's that game being played?
Henderson.
That swings it for me. I'll go Henderson. I was all set to pick an upset, but in Westchester, I think Westchester Henderson has more offense than Great Valley does, and I think they have an edge. And I'll take Westchester Henderson.
All right, we have 2 games of the week again this week, so we're kind of blessed, and both of them have league titles kind of attached to them. So the first we'll go with Kennett at Avongrove. Even though Avongrove's they're 2-6, right, overall, they still have a chance to win their division. So and I really we didn't have Pete. We'll start with you. Looked like they were doing some. Nate Mortar is their quarterback now,
Right,
and
right.
and they're doing some really different things. Well, I guess we'll let Pete go, and then you did the breakdown, which we just saw, which was, Coach, well done, by the way.
Yeah, I like Kennett in a very close game here. I mean, Avongrove has improved as the season is going on, and as Coach Moyer alluded to, they're doing some different things. They're still playing hard at the end of the year. They still have a chance to win their division. Kennett's a solid football team. Garrett McCracken, their quarterback, is over 1,352 yards passing, and that big play is there for Kennett. I like Kennett to squeak out a win here.
Mike, since you broke down the Avongrove offense.
Yeah, I mean, we did that breakdown yesterday, and Avongrove has been buck sweep from a bunch of different formations for a while now, and what they've added, and it'll be shown, I guess, earlier or later. I'm not sure which.
We saw it already.
My bad. Anyway, they're going to read the backside edge with the quarterback, so they're going to run buck sweep to the tight end wing side and allow the quarterback to read the edge on the backside at times. One of you guys called it bash. To me, we just tagged it with read anytime we had that going on. Their RPO on the backside, they did that earlier in the year, reading the inside linebacker, and the quarterback was able to throw slant backside. And now they've added a bubble back there. They got a bubble concept back there. So it's their key play. It's buck sweep, bunch of ways with some tags on it now to maybe attack the perimeter, either with pass or run back there. All that being said, Kennett's a really good football team. They're physical. They've got multiple weapons. They can be explosive. I don't see Avongrove being very explosive, although the running game's been better. I'm going to pick Kennett in this game.
And since you did the offensive breakdown for Avongrove, we know the guru, Coach Wolf, did the Kennett breakdown defensively, right? So what's Kennett going to do to stop that?
Kennett's very physical, as Coach Milano said. They run a couple different fronts. They'll run a 5-man front, a 4-man front. They'll even drop into a 3-man front. They did that a couple times against Unionville and drop 8 back into coverage. So they have multiple looks, and I think that's what they're going to do to this Avon Grove quarterback. He played a little bit last year, but he's only played a couple games this year. I think they're going to try to confuse him with different looks. Great linebacker play. Kennett's inside and outside linebackers really fly to the ball. Offensively, I really like the McCracken kid. He's a 3-year starter. He's still only a junior.
Yeah.
And the Carbajal kid, he can make plays in space. And the Taylor, the wideout, he made a couple big plays. So I just think Kennett's too explosive for him. I look for Kennett to get an easy win.
Nate.
Yeah, you watch Kennett on film, and they don't necessarily win pretty, but they win, and I think that's the biggest thing you can say about him. Obviously, McCracken 7 touchdowns the last 3 games. This team is almost all juniors, so they're going to be back next year. I think they're learning how to win. Obviously, these close games, that's a big deal going towards the playoffs. I think they know how to win a little bit better than Avon Grove at this point, so I think they keep it rolling, and I think they're going to be fun to watch Ken in the playoffs and next year with this whole core coming back.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Kennett as well. I don't see how I can go against them. I did pick them to win the league, so I'm sticking with them now. But I really like some of the things that Avon Grove's showing now, like with Coach offensively. I don't know if they're going to be able to have all the answers for the Kennett offense. Kennett does some things. So I'm going to stick with Kennett, and which would be interesting because if Kennett wins this game, then that sets up almost another league. It is a championship showdown next week with Oxford, since Oxford's playing a non-league team. Okay, let's go to the other game of the week, and this one, minus I guess who wins or loses the game, will be for the Central League Central Division title. Between Ruston, which will visit Westchester East, and wow, this is really something to look forward to here. Nate, why don't you start us? You got some stats and stuff for us, or?
I don't know if I have stats or not. I think it's one of those ones where stats don't necessarily matter too much. Ruston runs the ball a ton. The way Westchester East defended the run last week, I think that's got to be scary for the Vikings, just knowing how well Henderson ran the ball, and you can imagine what's coming from Ruston. Ruston's defense been playing really, really well lately. Another shutout last week against Great Valley. I think everything's lined up for Ruston to win, but I think for some reason, I think this is Westchester East year, and I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Interesting. Coach Wolf?
Nate stole my thunder.
Uh-huh.
I like the Vikings too. I like the Vikings. I think their momentum. I really like what they're doing offensively. They're getting some guys back on defense that have been hurt earlier in the year. Knowing Coach Mitten, going up against Coach Mitten for years, and he's going to have a plan for that run game. And I just think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be physical, and I'm going to give the Vikings the edge.
Pete?
Well, this is a tough game to predict. I feel, but Ruston's made a living out of winning these kind of games. I'm going to go with Ruston. They only allow 86 yards on the ground a game. Will Garner is the best fullback in the league. Like I said, Ruston wins these games, and even though Westchester East, Logan Cummings has been on fire, their quarterback, and he's got some really good receivers like Jack Anderson and Matt Kendrow. I still think Ruston's battle tested, and they beat Downingtown East. They came within 1 point of the defending 6A champions in Downingtown West. I have to like the Golden Knights here.
Coach Milano.
Yeah, both teams have played a good schedule. Westchester East been through Coatesville, Downingtown East, Oxford, Henderson. But I can't pick against Ruston. We started back in the preseason thing until somebody can stop buck sweep and power and counter crisscross and all of those things. And the fullback, I'm bad with names. His name again?
Will Garner.
Will Garner is amazing. He's been amazing the last couple of weeks.